Every operations manager knows this problem. You spend 3 hours every Monday just updating spreadsheets, chasing suppliers, and answering the same customer questions over and over. By the time you finish, half your day is gone and you haven't touched any strategic work. This isn't just frustrating. It's expensive. When you're paying someone $40 an hour to copy data between systems or manually track inventory levels, that's $2,000 a month on work that doesn't grow your business. And the real cost is even higher because while your operations manager is buried in repetitive tasks, they're not optimizing your supply chain, improving your processes, or solving the actual problems that affect your bottom line. Small businesses lose an average of 20 hours per week on manual operational tasks. That's half of someone's entire work week spent on activities that could be automated. The math is simple. If you're paying for skilled operational expertise, you want that expertise focused on decisions and improvements, not on copying information from emails into spreadsheets. Here's what makes this particularly painful for operations managers. They see the inefficiencies. They know there's a better way, but they are too busy managing the daily chaos to actually fix the underlying systems. It becomes a cycle where manual work creates more manual work. AI automation breaks this cycle by handling the repetitive operational tasks that consume so much time. But we're not talking about complex programming or expensive enterprise software. Modern AI tools can read your emails, understand what needs to happen, update your systems, and notify the right people without any human intervention. Think of it as having an assistant who never sleeps, never makes copying errors, and can process 100 tasks in the time it takes you to process one. The AI doesn't replace your operations manager's judgment. It removes the manual execution so they can focus on using that judgment. Let me show you exactly how this works with a real example that almost every operations manager deals with daily. Purchase order processing is one of those tasks that seems simple, but eats up enormous amounts of time. A supplier sends an email with a quote. Someone needs to review it, check if it matches what was requested, enter it into your purchasing system, update your budget tracking, and notify your accounts payable team. For a business processing 20 purchase orders a week, this easily consumes 6 to 8 hours of operational time. Here's how AI automation handles this same process. When the supplier's email arrives, the AI reads it immediately. It extracts all the relevant information, including the supplier name, items, quantities, prices, and delivery dates. Then it compares this information against your original purchase request to verify everything matches. If the quote is correct, the AI automatically creates the purchase order in your system with all the details filled in accurately. It updates your budget tracking to reflect the new commitment. It sends a confirmation to the supplier, and it notifies your accounts payable team that an invoice will be coming so they can expect it and process it promptly when it arrives. The entire process happens in under a minute. No data entry errors, no forgotten steps, no purchase orders sitting in someone's inbox for 2 days because they've been in back-to-back meetings. Your operations manager gets a simple notification showing what was processed. They can review it if they want, but they don't need to do any of the manual work. Instead of spending 8 hours a week on purchase order entry, they spend maybe 30 minutes on oversight. That's 7.5 hours freed up for work that actually requires human expertise. But the benefits extend beyond just time savings. When AI processes your purchase orders consistently, you get better data. You can suddenly see patterns in your purchasing that were invisible before. Which suppliers are consistently on time? Where are your costs trending? Are you ordering too much or too little of certain items? This kind of operational intelligence was always theoretically available in your data, but nobody had time to analyze it because they were too busy entering the data in the first place. Let me give you a second example that shows how this applies to customer-facing operations. Customer support inquiries follow predictable patterns. In most small businesses, About 70% of support questions are variations on the same 15 topics. Where's my order? How do I return something? What are your hours? Do you ship internationally? Can I change my delivery address? Traditionally, your operations manager or support team reads every single inquiry and types out a response. Even if they have template responses saved somewhere, they still need to read the question, find the right template, customize it for the specific situation, and send it. Multiply this by 50 inquiries a day, and you're looking at 3 to 4 hours of work. AI automation can handle the entire first response for standard inquiries. When a customer email comes in asking about order status, the AI reads the question, identifies what they are asking about, looks up their order in your system, and sends a personalized response with their specific tracking information and expected delivery date. The customer gets an answer in 2 minutes instead of 2 hours. For questions the AI can't handle confidently, it routes them to your team with a summary of what the customer needs. So your operations manager isn't reading every inquiry. They're only handling the complex cases that actually need human judgment. And even for those cases, they're starting with a clear summary instead of having to read through a long email chain. The impact on your operations is immediate. Response times drop from hours to minutes. Customer satisfaction improves because people get answers when they need them, not when someone finally works through their email backlog. And your operations manager can focus on improving your support processes instead of just executing them. One small business owner I worked with implemented this for their e-commerce operation. They were processing about 200 support inquiries a week with one full-time operations manager and occasional help from the owner. After automation, the AI handled about 60% of inquiries completely. The operations manager's workload dropped to the point where they could take on supplier relationship management, which had been neglected for months. Within 3 months, they had renegotiated terms with 2 major suppliers and saved the business $8,000 annually. Let's talk about what these changes actually mean for your business operations. The most obvious benefit is time. When your operations manager gets back 10 to 15 hours per week, that time can go toward improvements that actually grow your business. Better supplier relationships, streamlined processes, inventory optimization, customer experience enhancements, the strategic work that gets pushed aside when everyone's drowning in daily tasks. The second benefit is consistency. AI automation doesn't have good days and bad days. It doesn't make different decisions on Friday afternoon than it does on Monday morning. Your purchase orders are processed the same way every time. Your customer responses maintain the same tone and include the same information. This consistency improves quality and makes your operations more predictable. The third benefit is cost reduction. You're paying for the same hours, but you're getting much more value from those hours. A $40 per hour operations manager spending half their time on manual tasks is delivering maybe $20 of strategic value per hour. That same person spending 80% of their time on strategic work is delivering $35 of value per hour. The salary doesn't change, but the return on that salary increases dramatically. You also reduce errors. Manual data entry has an error rate of about 1%. That might not sound like much, but if you're processing 500 transactions a month, that's 5 errors. Each error requires time to identify and correct. Some errors cost you money directly through wrong orders, missed deadlines, or customer refunds. AI automation reduces this error rate to nearly 0 because it's not misreading numbers or accidentally skipping fields. The financial impact adds up quickly. A small business saving 10 hours per week at $40 per hour saves about $20,000 annually in labor costs that can be redirected to higher value work. Add in error reduction and process improvements, and the total impact often exceeds $30,000 per year. For most small businesses, that's a meaningful portion of net profit. Here's what surprises most business owners. They expect automation to be complicated and expensive. In reality, the tools have become remarkably accessible. You don't need a technology team. You don't need custom software development. Most operational automation can be set up in a few days, using existing AI tools that cost less than standard business software subscriptions. The automation works with your current systems, your email, your spreadsheets, your accounting software. You're not replacing everything. You're adding a layer that makes everything work together smoothly, without constant manual intervention. Operations managers who start using AI automation consistently report the same experience. The first week feels strange because they keep expecting to need to do tasks that are already done. By the second week, they start identifying more processes that could be automated. By the first month, they can't imagine going back to the old way of working. The role of an operations manager doesn't disappear. It gets better. Instead of being a highly skilled data entry person who also handles operational decisions when they have time, they become a true operational strategist who uses AI to execute their decisions efficiently. If you're an operations manager or you employ one, the question isn't whether to automate these repetitive tasks. The question is how much longer you're willing to pay premium wages for work that technology can handle more accurately and more quickly. The businesses that figure this out now are building operational advantages that compound over time. Better data leads to better decisions. More time for strategy leads to better processes. Better processes lead to better customer experiences and lower costs. The gap between businesses using these tools and businesses still doing everything manually widens every month. If this approach to operational efficiency makes sense for your business, subscribe to this channel. I break down practical AI automation strategies for small business owners every week. No technical jargon, just clear explanations of what works, how to implement it, and what results you can expect. Thanks for watching.